Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha, Tatsavitra Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto ma sadgamya, tamso ma jyotirgamya, mrityor ma amritam gamya. Om sahna bhavatu, sahna bhunaktu, sahviryam karvavahi, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahi. Om shanti 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 om. We all know when we need to tame any animal or even persuade another individual to do his or her job. It's always necessary that you put that animal or individual in a happy mood. Because when the person is in a happy mood, you can easily get your work done through him, not when he is preoccupied or mentally worried. So what is the principle? Principle is the mind is available for remolding when it is in a cheerful mood, happy mood. This cheerful, happy mood is the beginning trace of a sattva. It's called serenity. As yoga abhyasis, we are supposed to meditate. As a meditator, we are trying to persuade our own mind, not anyone else's outside. We are trying to persuade it to come for the contemplation of the higher. Whether you call it Ishwar or Guru or Brahma or light or energy, whatever name you want to give. And the mind will be easily available for your purpose when it is in a happy, cheerful mood. Even though bliss is our true nature, even though we are always searching for happiness in all our efforts, but most of us know that our mind is addicted to sorrow. Even in a happy situation, you and I are afraid to be too happy. That is our nature now. And this is out of sheer habit. The majority of us consider that to be happy or cheerful within is to be irresponsible in life. We consider that to be in tension under severe stress and strain is our normal, healthy condition. So many of us will have to persuade ourselves in the beginning to learn the art of being cheerful within. I'm not just talking about a smile on the face, cheerful within. Especially when you sit on your meditation seat. In that happy mood, the mind is plastic. You can reshape its contours and get out of it a better performance. Not only during the time of meditation, but also in your outside activities. When you're doing your yoga sadhana, even the Hatha Yoga practice, or you're going for a run or a walk. A healthy and cheerful mind will produce a better performance. Much of its crookedness is straightened. Its unsymmetrical development and growth can be transformed into a symmetrical beauty. The mind of the master is much more glorious than his mind was before he reached those peaks. There is a Sanskrit saying about it, yogi yogaha niyojitaha chitta. A yogi is one who has a controlled, regulated, trained, and a beautified mind. Not a sorrowful mind, not a distressed mind or a stressed mind or an unhappy mind. Niyojit. With such a mind, a yogi contacts the world outside also then. So during meditation, we practice, and when we come out and contact this world with a happy mind. When you have such a trained mind, even though you are in the middle of sense objects, problems, or even challenges, you are not in the least perturbed. And when the mind is not perturbed, your vision is not clouded. You go through life gathering no more mess. You maintain your mind, your divine beauty and purity immaculate. In order to mold the mind into that beauty and tempo, the present mind, the mind which we have right now, is to be readjusted. We have to work on this mind. And that is the very first step or result when you are systematically and correctly meditating. So when we do the Hatha Yoga, the asanas, or when we are doing the cleansings, the shatkarams, we are working on the body. And when we are sitting on our meditation seat, we are adjusting our mind. Among the very first signposts to show that you are on the right path is this gathering joy within. It's not because of something you have a joy, you just have a joyful mind. There is a stability and also poise in spite of problems outside. It's not that problems won't come. It's not the ups and downs of the life will not be there. But your mind is joyful, even among those turmoils. And in all such conditions, the spiritual student or the sadhak generally misunderstands sometimes the new moods. The new student sometimes becomes afraid that he may be developing a sense of irresponsibility in the world. But when the student talks to the guru, the teacher, he knows that it's not so. Even the joys of the world do not excite him. The sorrows of the world come to him, lash at him, yet he feels untouched by them. This is the state of this kind of a mind. And the very serious, the seasoned seekers very often ask, what is happening to me? My sister died, and I'm not upset. Before, such a situation was sufficient to upset me for a whole year. Now it doesn't affect me. Have I become dead inside? This kind of a doubt may come to your mind. But remember, it's not a sign of irresponsibility. In fact, it is really a sign of your inner growth. You have understood the message which came from Lord Krishna's mouth. After you set up your prayer room or your private corner where you want to meditate, try to use the same place every day. Don't change it. Use the same seat, the same place. Because slowly that corner, that seat gathers an atmosphere of its own. It becomes a psychological and spiritual harbor. By association of ideas, the moment you sit there, your mind automatically becomes quiet. The first attempt should be to make your mind cheerful, happy, smile away. Not with the lips, but in your mind. When was the last time you did that? Because with the lips, we smile all the time. When was the mind smiled the last time? Ask yourself. Within a short time, after a few days of conscious effort, at a moment's notice, under any circumstance, you'll be able to change the mood of the mind. Your mind will listen to you. It will pay attention to this attitude of inner joy. All great masters, prophets, saints, sages, they constantly live in this attitude. They are not depressed. They are not sorrowful. They are not sulking. They are in this joyful mood. And it is the cheerful mood that we really see in their eyes. When we say that their eyes, there's a spark in there, there's a light in there, there's an energy in there, there's a love in there. It's coming from this joy. An enchantment of peace and joy. That's what we see in their eyes. Just as a miserable person throws a dark, dreary, tragic atmosphere around him, a peaceful and happy master spreads the atmosphere of joy and thrill, so that even when the grossest of us come near him, we become filled with some mysterious waves of joy. That's why we like to be in the company of the gurus, the saints, the sages. There's a voiceless experience which generates our spirit of reverence towards them. Because only in that cheerful experience or cheerful atmosphere of the mind can spirituality develop. Not in a dark, bothersome atmosphere. That is the reason why many devotees go to the church, temples, or other places of worship. They go there to the altar with all their sorrows. They kneel there. They weep there. And they even pray for hours together. But all the time, the mind, if the mind is droopy, loaded with its sorrows, even after years of prayers, such a mind develops much more an attitude to tragedy than the satisfying mood of joy. So we got to remember that what kind of a mood we take over there. It's not the body which is going there only. There's a mind which is going there, and we go there for the mind. So when you go to the prayer room or to the seat of meditation, bring the mind to a mood of ecstatic joy. Create that. Or even fake that in the beginning. See, just like when we meditate, we imagine those light in the chakras. You got to imagine. But remember, this joy need not be displayed on the lips. Because very often when you first begin meditating, you will encounter a lot of opposition at home. It could be the people who live with you, or it could be the people you talk to afterwards. Your family members will be afraid of what you are going to do. That you are regularly sitting in a corner is itself a great mental anxiety for them. I hear that from many students. Then if you start smiling ecstatically while sitting in meditation, their fears will appear to be confirmed. There's something wrong that happened to you. So don't show that joy on the outside. It is only your mind that must smile. Today, when you have 10 minutes all to yourself, start with 10 minutes. Sit down and practice smiling in your mind. Watch what is happening. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open, because mind is smiling. Eyes can be open. Simply watch the mind, make it smile, drop all its worries, at least for those 10 minutes. And in a cheerful mind, there will be very few agitations. And in a mind with minimum agitation, Satvikta predominates. Remember that. It's not only the food which we eat sattvic, our mind has to have that sattvic energy, sattvic color of it. So in your daily meditation, you need not follow all the various methods and strategies by which the mind can be persuaded to come to quietude. Each day, your mind will bring a different weapon. And from your armory, you must select the right weapon as an antidote. On certain days, for example, you will feel an attachment to the body. Then you relax that body. Often the attachment of the body comes when there's some kind of a pain and ache. It could be the back, it could be the knees. So by relaxing the body to a large extent, your attachment to it will be temporarily released. That also we got to learn systematically. So the mind's source of disturbance, sometimes it could be the ego with all its anxieties. We need to eliminate that in order to be truly joyful. And if you cannot do that, do not curse yourself. That I'm no good, I can't do it. Because so far we have made stress and anxieties very natural for our mind. Those anxieties, they come to you because of your relationships. In yourself, there is no worry. The relationships or the attachments are the one which are giving the worries. In yourself, there is no worry. Yourself means the real you, the Atma. Because of the relationships pertaining to the field of your activities, disturbances reach your mind. And during meditation, this is what we have to work on. Surrender your anxieties at the feet of the Lord or the teacher. When you are surrendering unto Him, surrender all your roles. You are no longer a mother now. You are not a daughter, nor a business person, or whatever you do, whatever hat you are wearing, you are not that professional. Renounce every attitude that you have taken in your relationship with the world of objects, emotions, and thoughts through your equipments of the body, mind, and intellect. That's what we do when we suggest ourself that I'm not the body. So if I'm not the body, all those roles which I play through the body during that period of time, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 2 hours. Detach from that. At such a moment, you don't have any roles to play. You, the created, are turning towards your creator. Only the God and you. That's it. Nothing else. No other anxiety, no other attachments, no other fear. Just on your meditation, you and your beloved God. When you are thus dead to all other relationships, all worries, all responsibilities should drop away from you. So what is left? If it's only you, the real you, and the creator who created you, it will be only joy. If you look at it, anxieties and the worries are about the body and the relationships and the roles we play. So 10 minutes a day, at least, only you and the divine are there. Your mind is flooded in joy because you are turning towards your beloved. I always tell myself before meditation that I have an appointment with God. Just like when we have appointments with somebody very important, we are not late. In fact, we are early. And we make sure that we are presentable. In this appointment also, this is the most important appointment. Think of it that way. We should think that I am turning toward my own source. I am temporarily leaving behind all the fields of pain and imperfections. Because there's a perfection only in God. As soon as the meditation is over, sure, you can take all your responsibilities on your shoulders again. The yogi gurus don't say that shirk your responsibilities. But with that kind of a joyful mind, you'll be able to handle the responsibilities in a much better way, much calmer way, the clearer way. Invoke the floods of joy in your mind. And from your mind, let your joy spread in every direction. So wherever you go, mind goes with you. Whether you are going to work or whether you are going for shopping or whether you are meeting your friends, you're taking your mind with you. Take that joyful mind. With every cell in your body, radiate that joy. As this mood increases in the mind becomes filled with sattva. Rishi Patanjali called it sattva shuddhi. And a serene mind is the most effective instrument of contemplation. Disturbed mind is not. When the mind is in that serene attitude, the body is relaxed. Because there's a connection between the body and the mind. We all know that. Body is relaxed. Because one's entire attention goes to the point of joy. That's where that relaxation is coming from. And a relaxed body functions better, breathes better, flow of blood is better, the organs work better. So with this mind, chant the Lord's name. Be aware of the chant. Then gradually slow down the chanting since your attention has been in the chanting. So during prayers also, keep this kind of a mind. Got to learn how to teach our mind to roll away from all objects outside. During prayers, during meditation. This kind of a joyful mind has become extremely introverted. We often sing this in our bhajans and the arti that, please God, make me antarmukhi. Antarmukhi means introverted. So far, we have been most of the time extroverted, bahirmukhi. But we have to go within. When the chanting is removed, what remains is your true nature alone. Try to remain there for some time, every day. More and more, you will see that how good it feels. That's why those rishis, when they uttered those saying, Aham Brahmasmi, because they felt that I am that. I am Brahm. I thought that I was the worries and the anxieties and the pain and the sorrows, but actually I'm not. That was the incorrect me. The correct me is, I am that. Whether the Aham Brahmasmi, or whether we say Soham, or Tat Tvam Asi, the same thing. It's the real feeling of the oneness with Him. And there's only joy there. There's no worries there. There's no sorrow there. All that you have studied and reflected on in the scriptures, whether in the Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana or the Upanishads or elsewhere, all those ideas will help give you the understanding of your true nature. They all give the pointers towards our real nature. If you look at it, with the time, the language changes, but the message doesn't change. Message is the same. No matter who wrote it, who spoke it, who told us. Try to remain in that quietude vigilantly, conscious of that quiet. Asserting in yourself, this is a real me. The real me, which is joyful all the time. And that is the maturity. Immaturity is in weeping and crying for the sorrows of this world. Maturity is to feel that joy, which is our real nature. Make it your habit. Keep the mind in this attitude of inner tranquility. The outer world will always be full of contentious conflicts, sorrows, bereavements, births, and deaths. Everything changing at every moment. It is made that way. It should be so. Known factors, they clash. That means the physicality of this world, objects, they will clash. This is the nature of the world. But in your inner poise, you have control. Outside, we don't have much control. We have limited control in the outer world. But our inside, your inner poise, you should have control. and hold on to that control. In Sanskrit, they say that manosthiti and paristhiti. Paristhiti is the outer. We don't have much control. But manosthiti, we should have a control. Our mind. That's our mind. This body we just got few decades ago, mind has been traveling with us for lives and lives. Learn to control this mind. Mind is the one which is going to go with us. Put some more effort into keeping the mind joyful. With your unnecessary mental worries, you only create more problems outside and become yourself more incompetent to face them. Because a worried mind cannot see clearly, then we are not competent enough to make the right decisions. So to move away from that inner tranquility is to sink to that higher level through the meditation. Because if we go down, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go to the lower levels. There's no dignity in there for a human being. The level we came here, when we leave this body, we should rise to the upper level. We came as a human beings, we want to live as a saintly being, a divine being. But we all know that old habits are hard to change. Mind will again try to tumble into imagined sorrows, remembered worries, fancied problems for the future. It just goes on and on and on because mind either it likes to stay in the past or it likes to worry about the future. But the yogi gurus say that stay in the present, do your sadhana, control your mind, clean your mind, feel the joy, which is your real nature, through this mind. Refuse to come down from the peak of inner joy. Because during meditation or during your prayers, you feel that inner joy. Peak of that, actually. I'm sure you all have felt it from time to time. Refuse to come down from that peak. Play with, support in the outer problems. So that means to tackle with the outer problems. Because in this life, sure, there are struggles, but have that poise. If we have the poise of a meditator, if you want to call it, or a seeker, we will know how to tackle all these problems calmly. Be ever watchful whether you are slipping from that peak of joy. Do not become careless. Catch yourself. Learn to rediscover the joyous mood even while moving about, while talking to others, even when failures from all sides grin at you. Still, you can have a joyous mind. Be ever drunk in your own joy. That's what a devotee does. That's what Bhagat does. It's not that the outer problems don't come, but the inner joy is never slipped away. So this is what we need to work on and keep in our mind. This is the maturity in our sadhana. Is our mind joyful all the time or not? Om पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमदाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Thank you very much.